The harsh fluorescent light burned through Marcus Leland's eyelids as they fluttered open for the first time in a decade. Monitors beeped steadily in the background, measuring each heartbeat of a man the world had nearly forgotten. The medical staff at Columbia University Hospital rushed to his bedside, their faces masks of disbelief. "It's impossible," one nurse whispered, "after 10 years." The room spun with white coats and urgent voices, but Marcus couldn't process any of it. The last thing he remembered was driving to work on a rainy April morning in 2014. The feel of the steering wheel suddenly jerking beneath his fingers, the guardrail giving way, the cold rush of water as his car plunged into Hinkson Creek, and then nothing. Until now. May 2nd, 2024, a date that meant nothing to him but would soon change everything. "Where's Tessa?" Marcus croaked, his voice cracking from disuse. His throat felt like sandpaper, his limbs foreign and unresponsive. The nurse exchanged glances with the doctor, a look Marcus would replay in his mind for months to come. His once strong body had withered. Gray streaked his formerly dark hair. The face in the reflection of his water glass belonged to a stranger, gaunt, pale, aged beyond his 42 years. "What year is it?" he asked, panic rising, as he noticed wrinkles on his hands that hadn't been there before. His mother arrived first, aged and trembling. The joy in her eyes quickly clouded with something else, dread. "Mom, where's Tessa? Why isn't my wife here?" The silence stretched between them until his mother finally spoke. "Marcus, honey, Tessa remarried 3 years after your accident." "Who?" The question hung in the air. His mother clasped his weak hand. "Owen. She married Owen Grady, his best friend, his best man, the godfather to the children they'd planned to have." What would you do if you woke up to discover your entire life had been stolen by the people you trusted most? How would you handle learning that the two people who should have been waiting for you had not only moved on, but might have orchestrated your tragedy from the beginning? Before the accident, Marcus Leland was the history teacher students remembered long after graduation. At Hickman High School, his classroom walls displayed historical maps and student projects rather than standard curriculum posters. He coached debate and stayed late helping struggling students, often buying supplies with his own money. He made the Civil War feel like breaking news, recalled former student Miguel Diaz, like it mattered to our lives today. His colleagues described a man whose reliability was legendary. He never missed faculty meetings, remembered everyone's birthdays, and volunteered first for weekend events. When fellow teacher Janet Collins battled cancer, Marcus organized meal deliveries for 3 months straight. He wasn't just good, his department chair noted. He was good without expecting anything in return. That's rare. Marcus met Tessa Reynolds during her nursing rotation at University Hospital after he donated blood. Their first date lasted 6 hours at a local coffee shop. Within a year, they married in a small ceremony at Shelter Gardens. Their modest craftsman home on Ash Street became the gathering place for friends. Tessa's homemade lasagna and Marcus's history-themed trivia nights drawing regular crowds. They talked about Paris constantly, recalled Tessa's sister Elena. Marcus was learning French for their 5th anniversary trip. They'd cleared out the small second bedroom, preparing it for the baby they planned to conceive that summer. Tessa had already collected children's books. Marcus had built a small bookshelf, sanded smooth to prevent splinters. Owen Grady entered Marcus's life during college when they shared a literature class. The charismatic paramedic complemented Marcus's thoughtful nature with spontaneity and charm. Owen could talk his way into or out of anything, recalled mutual friend Thomas Weber. While Marcus planned, Owen improvised. As best man at their wedding, Owen delivered a toast that brought tears to everyone's eyes. "When you find people who see the real you and love you anyway, never let them go," he told the crowd, raising his glass to the couple. He became a fixture at their Sunday dinners, bringing expensive wines and easy laughter. Their life appeared flawless from the outside. Careers on upward trajectories, a home they were slowly renovating, friends who adored them, and plans for a family. Marcus had just been nominated for Teacher of the Year. Tessa was considering a specialty certification in pediatric nursing. The future stretched before them, bright with possibility. Have you ever trusted someone completely, only to wonder later if you really knew them at all? How many smiles have hidden daggers? How many betrayals have been planned over friendly dinners? April 17 dawned with light rain tapping against windows throughout Columbia, Missouri. Marcus rose at 6:15 a.m., 15 minutes before his alarm. He showered, humming the history song he'd created to help students remember the constitutional amendments. On the kitchen counter sat his prepared lunch, turkey sandwich, apple, and the chocolate chip cookie Tessa always included. His coffee mug, a student gift reading, "History teachers make the past present," steamed beside his graded papers. The forecast predicted clearing skies by afternoon. Marcus planned to finish painting the nursery that evening, while Tessa attended her monthly nursing cohort dinner. He'd already covered the floor with drop cloths and taped the edges of the crown molding with careful precision. His silver Honda Civic had just passed 50,000 miles. He'd gotten the oil changed last week. "Don't forget, we need milk," Tessa called from the porch, coffee in hand, still wearing her blue pajama pants with clouds on them. "Already on my list," Marcus replied, tapping his pocket where he kept his small notepad. He walked back up the 3 porch steps and kissed her. A quick, routine kiss, the kind exchanged by couples who expect thousands more. "Love you," he said. "Love you too. Drive carefully, it's slick out there." He waved from the car window. She raised her coffee mug in response. Her hair was still mussed from sleep. Neither knew to make the moment last. At 7:32 a.m., Marcus's Honda crashed through the guardrail on Old Highway 63 bridge. The car plunged 20 feet into Hinkson Creek, landing roof first in the water. Officer Carla Mendoza arrived 9 minutes later. Skid marks stretched 30 feet before the broken guardrail. "Single vehicle accident, likely hydroplaning," her initial report read. The paramedics who pulled Marcus from the wreckage gave him a 10% chance of survival. His lungs had filled with creek water. His skull had fractured against the steering wheel, despite the deployed airbag. Hickman High held a candlelight vigil that Friday. Students left history books on Marcus's classroom desk. Tessa appeared devastated, supported physically by Owen as she walked. The hospital created a dedicated waiting area for the stream of well-wishers bringing food and prayers. But what if that rain-slicked road wasn't what sent Marcus into Hinkson Creek? What if someone had already charted his tragic course? For 10 years, Marcus existed in a twilight state. Room 412 at Columbia University Hospital became his world. The rhythmic hiss of ventilators, the monotonous beep of heart monitors, and the hushed voices of medical staff his only companions. Doctors used terms like persistent vegetative state and minimal brain activity. Neurologist Dr. Patel explained to the family that while Marcus could breathe independently, he showed no signs of consciousness. His brain scans revealed intermittent patterns, suggesting possible awareness trapped within a body that wouldn't respond. His muscles atrophied despite the physical therapy sessions nurses provided. His hair grew gray at the temples. Seasons changed outside his window, 10 cycles of spring blossoms and winter frost, while Marcus remained suspended in time, neither present nor gone. Tessa's daily visits became weekly within 6 months. By year 2, she appeared monthly, often with Owen accompanying her for support. Hospital staff noticed the gradual transformation. Her wedding ring vanished. She stopped bringing fresh clothes for Marcus. She referred to him in past tense during conversations with nurses. In the 3rd year, Tessa filed for legal guardianship, then sought financial control of Marcus's teacher pension. That Christmas, security cameras captured her and Owen kissing in the hospital parking lot. By year 4, she officially moved in with Owen. Their wedding announcement appeared in the Columbia Tribune in 2017, a small ceremony after years of shared grief. Columbia residents chose sides quickly. Some defended Tessa's right to move forward. "Young woman deserves happiness," wrote one Tribune letter writer. "Can't expect her to waste her life." Others condemned what they viewed as betrayal. Marcus's former students created a Facebook group, "Remember Mr. Leland." They shared memories and posted articles about coma patients who recovered after years. The school maintained his teaching award in the trophy case, while many whispered about the inappropriate timing of Tessa's new marriage. Harold and Evelyn Leland never missed a day. They created a visitation schedule, alternating mornings and afternoons, tracking every minor change in their son's condition in a leather-bound journal. They read to him his favorite novels, newspaper articles, student letters. Evelyn trimmed his hair and shaved his face weekly. Harold played recordings of baseball games, describing the action between plays. "We brought him into this world," Evelyn told anyone who suggested they move on. "We'll be here when he returns to it." How long would you wait before accepting that someone you love might never return? 6 months? A year? 5 years? And if you were Marcus's parents, watching your daughter-in-law build a new life with your son's best friend, would you see it as healing or the deepest form of betrayal? On May 2nd, 2024, Nurse Diane Chen was checking Marcus's vitals, a routine she'd performed thousands of times, when his fingers twitched. Then his eyelids fluttered. Within minutes, he was tracking movement across the room. The medical staff mobilized instantly. Dr. Leyland rushed in, shining a pen light into Marcus's eyes, asking him to blink if he could hear her. He blinked. Less than 2% of patients recover after prolonged comas beyond 5 years, Dr. Leyland later told reporters. "We're witnessing something extraordinary, a man literally returning from a decade of darkness. Medically speaking, it defies explanation." Marcus couldn't stand unassisted. 10 years of immobility had left his muscles wasted, his bones fragile. His first attempts at speech produced garbled sounds before clarity slowly returned. Cognitively, he remained sharp, still able to name all U.S. presidents in order. But emotionally, he oscillated between confusion and overwhelming grief. "It's like I time traveled," he told his physical therapist during their first session. "But everyone else got to live those years while I just disappeared." He often woke screaming, convinced he was drowning again in Hinkson Creek. A nurse inadvertently mentioned President Harris, leaving Marcus bewildered. "Trump was president? Then Biden? I missed 2 entire administrations?" Each new revelation hit like physical blows. Smartphones had advanced generations. His favorite students had graduated college. His father had battled cancer. But nothing compared to seeing recent photos of Tessa and Owen, their wedding picture, their shared home, their Christmas card featuring matching sweaters, physical evidence of a betrayal Marcus couldn't process. "They look happy without me." During physical therapy, fragments returned. An argument with Tessa the night before the crash about text messages from Owen. The strange metallic grinding when he turned the steering wheel that morning. Owen's truck in his rear-view mirror on a road his friend never took to work. "Was Owen following me that day?" he asked his mother. "And why would Tessa delete those texts I found?" Detective Luis Ramirez, a 15-year veteran of Colombia's Major Crimes Unit, received the call about Marcus's awakening while investigating another case. Something about Marcus's fragmented memories triggered his instinct. 10-year-old accident investigations don't typically get reopened, Ramirez explained to his captain. But when the victim wakes up mentioning inconsistencies, we have an obligation to look again. The original case file contained only basic forensics, standard for single-vehicle accidents in 2014. Photos showed a damaged guardrail, a submerged car, and skid marks attributed to wet conditions. The investigation was perfunctory, Ramirez noted in his new case log. The victim's injuries were considered definitive proof this was an accident. Nobody looked further because nobody had reason to doubt. The Honda Civic had been stored in the police impound lot for 2 years before being released to Tessa, who promptly sold it to a scrapyard. Ramirez tracked the vehicle identification number to a restoration specialist who had purchased the frame. Luckily, he documented everything before beginning repairs, Ramirez told Marcus's parents. Digital modeling software, unavailable in 2014, reconstructed the accident using original photos. The trajectory analysis revealed that the car's path didn't match typical hydroplaning patterns. The steering column, preserved in the restore's detailed photographs, showed microscopic tool marks inconsistent with the crash impact. Today's technology can detect manipulation that would have been invisible 10 years ago. Forensic engineer Dr. Yasmin Shah testified, these marks indicate tampering with the steering mechanism. A gas station security camera half a mile from the accident site had captured grainy footage that was deemed inconclusive in 2014. Digital enhancement specialists at the FBI field office applied new algorithms to the degraded video. We can now distinguish vehicle makes and models with 94% accuracy, Agent Wilson explained, pointing to the monitor. The enhanced footage clearly showed Marcus's silver Honda passing at 7:29 a.m. 20 seconds later, Owen's red pickup truck followed, traveling in the same direction. In his original statement, Owen claimed he was home asleep until Tessa called with news of the accident. The subpoenaed phone records shattered Owen's alibi. His cell phone pinged towers along the accident route that morning. More damning were the messages recovered from a cloud backup of Tessa's old phone. Owen, 11:32 p.m., April 16th. Tomorrow morning. It has to look like an accident. Tessa, 11:33 p.m. I'm scared. What if something goes wrong? Owen, 11:40 p.m. Trust me. The brake lines stay intact. It's just the steering. Insurance will pay everything. Then we can be together. Retired mechanic Frank Delaney came forward after seeing Marcus's story on the news. That Grady fellow came to my shop asking questions, Delaney testified. Wanted to know how to damage a steering column without it being obvious. Said it was for a movie he was writing. I explained it to him. 3 weeks later, the accident happened. What secrets lurk in the devices around you? How many casual conversations have hidden deadly intentions behind seemingly innocent words? Detective Ramirez questioned Tessa for 6 hours at the station. She maintained composure until he played the surveillance footage showing Owen's truck following Marcus. It wasn't supposed to happen like that, she finally whispered, makeup streaking down her face. Owen promised he'd just damage the car enough to scare Marcus, so we could have time apart. He wasn't supposed to get hurt. She claimed the marriage had been suffocating her. Marcus wanted children. She'd grown uncertain. Owen listened when Marcus lectured. I just wanted freedom to think, she sobbed. I never asked Owen to hurt him. I swear I didn't know he would go that far. When Ramirez asked why she married Owen after, she stared blankly. He was there. He understood. No one else did. Owen maintained innocence through 3 interrogations. His lawyer from a prestigious Kansas City firm dismissed the evidence as circumstantial and technologically questionable. The facade crumbled when Detective Ramirez laid out the mechanic's testimony alongside the bank statements showing Owen's $5,000 withdrawal the day before the accident. You think I wanted to? Owen finally exploded. Marcus was my friend, but he didn't appreciate what he had. She was miserable with him, crying every night while he planned their perfect future without listening to what she wanted. His voice dropped to a whisper. I loved her more. I deserved her more. Psychologist Dr. Helen Martinez analyzed the case for the prosecution. We see a classic triangle, Marcus representing stability and commitment, Owen offering excitement and validation, Tessa caught between them, unable to directly confront her dissatisfaction. Owen had positioned himself as both Marcus's friend and his replacement, cultivating Tessa's dependence while encouraging her discontent. Most disturbing was how Owen watched over Marcus in the hospital for years, playing the devoted friend while living with his wife. The level of deception suggests profound pathology. He needed Marcus alive but incapacitated to justify his relationship with Tessa. The crime required meticulous planning, researching how to sabotage the steering without leaving evidence, choosing a route with a dangerous bridge, establishing alibis, and creating a narrative of marital problems that would deflect suspicion after the accident. They had discussed their plan for months. Could you ever understand someone who claimed they tried to kill from love? Or does calling betrayal love make the crime even worse? The Boone County Courthouse overflowed daily during the 3-week trial. Locals lined up at 5 a.m. for seats, while national media trucks crowded the street outside. In the community, lawn signs appeared. Justice for Marcus competed with Free Tessa in different neighborhoods. Former students organized fundraisers for Marcus's medical bills, while Owen's paramedic colleagues defended his character in newspaper interviews. The prosecution presented 32 witnesses, including medical experts who testified that Marcus's decade-long coma resulted directly from the crash, meaning the sabotage had nearly killed him. The defense tried painting Marcus as controlling and emotionally abusive, a narrative that collapsed when his students and colleagues provided contradictory testimony. "This town is watching its own divided reflection," wrote Columbia Tribune editor Daniel Park. "Everyone sees the version of truth they can bear." The jury deliberated for just 4 hours before returning guilty verdicts. Owen received 25 years for attempted murder, with no possibility of parole for 18 years. Tessa received 12 years for conspiracy and attempted manslaughter, eligible for parole after 7 years. Judge Richardson addressed them both. "You didn't just attempt to end a life, you stole a decade from a man who trusted you completely. Then you built your happiness on the foundation of his suffering." As they were led away, Owen stared straight ahead while Tessa turned toward Marcus, mouthing, "I'm sorry," before deputies escorted her out. Neither of their families attended the sentencing. Marcus moved in with his parents during his recovery, converting their dining room into a physical therapy space. He regained most motor functions within 8 months, though his right hand developed a tremor that never fully disappeared. He couldn't return to classroom teaching, too physically demanding, but began tutoring homebound students facing their own medical challenges. "They understand lost time," he explained. "We speak the same language." He started a support group for victims of betrayal trauma, meeting weekly at the library. The unexpected direction of his new life gave him purpose where bitterness might have taken root. Columbia installed additional guardrails along Hinkson Creek Bridge. The high school established a scholarship in Marcus's name for students interested in teaching. Local doctors cited his case when securing funding for advanced coma research. The crime became a cautionary tale about recognizing relationship manipulation, taught in the psychology department at the university's ethics course. If everything you believed about your closest relationships turned out to be fabricated, how would you trust again? Would you choose protecting yourself from future pain or risk vulnerability once more? Have you ever discovered someone wasn't who you thought they were? 5 years after justice was served, Marcus Leland lives in a small house near the university. At 47, he walks with a slight limp, a permanent reminder of his stolen decade. He teaches online history courses and mentors coma survivors through their recovery. His students never miss the irony when he covers the Civil War. A man who lost years of his own history now preserving it for others. "The hardest part isn't the physical recovery," Marcus told a documentary crew last year. "It's accepting that everyone moved on without you, that life didn't pause." He visits his parents daily. He's dated occasionally but hasn't committed to a relationship. "Trust comes slowly now," he admits, "but so does judgment. Both are lessons worth learning." Some questions linger in this case. Did Tessa truly not know Owen intended the crash to be fatal? Was their affair physical before the accident, as some friends suspected? Why did Marcus's phone, never recovered from the creek, show a deleted call to Owen that morning? Marcus still wonders what changed in the marriage he thought was perfect. "Sometimes I think knowing everything wouldn't help," he says. "Some wounds heal better without picking them open." Looking back, patterns emerged. Owen volunteered to drive Marcus home from staff parties, limiting his drinking while Tessa drank freely. He gave extravagant gifts to Tessa that Marcus couldn't match. He positioned himself as her confidant during their minor disagreements. Marcus's department chair recalled, "Owen always asked about Marcus's schedule, his route to work, his routines. We thought he was being thoughtful." Even Tessa's increasing criticism of Marcus had Owen's fingerprints, repeating phrases Owen used about him. If this story made you question the relationships in your own life, hit like and share it with someone you trust. Comment below about warning signs you've noticed in relationships around you. Subscribe for more true crime stories that reveal how well we really know the people closest to us.